What's up? It's Matt, and I'm here with Darren of IPourIt. Darren, say hi.
Hey, hello everyone.
And it's getting loud here. They're probably getting ready to cancel the show, tell us to get out of here. But we're at the Pizza Expo in Las Vegas, and you know, this hits a sweet spot for me because I'm going to tell you a story. Last night, me and 6 people from this show went to dinner. We sat down, and they brought out chips and salsa, very good. But you know what they didn't bring out?
Beer.
Drinks.
Yeah.
And guess what we waited 20 minutes for? No lie, 20 minutes.
Oh, I believe it.
So this would have solved that problem, because then I could have, well, you know what? Tell me what it is. Tell us what this system is.
So what this is it's self-serve beer and wine technology, and the great part about it is you check in very simply with your driver's license and an open credit card. You get an RFID wristband. That RFID wristband opens you up for 32 ounces of beer or wine, or a combination of the two, and then you get to go explore the beer wall and find out what it is that you want to taste and try. Once you find out what you like, you just keep pouring more of it.
Okay. So there's no more waiting for a server.
No more waiting for server. You get to try things without feeling uncomfortable asking for a taste every time. It gives you an opportunity to try things that you probably normally wouldn't try otherwise. So it opens up a lot of experiential opportunity for myself and the patrons who use the system.
Yeah, I came across this with the rapid-fired pizza and wireless heater up there. And what I really thought was cool about it, I was in there when they first launched it.
Mm-hmm.
And customers were coming in that would typically get 12 ounces of this beer. And they were like, hey, I'm going to get 2 ounces. I'm going to scan the bracelet here and get 2 ounces of this beer, 2 ounces of this beer, 2 of this beer. So it allows them to test it out. Tell us about like the technology, what it does. Like you put the wristband on. Can you show us?
Yeah, so hey,
okay.
Let's do this.
So typically a customer would come to you and say, hey, here's my credit card, here's my driver's license.
Do you have a driver's license?
Yeah. Oh, you got one? All of a sudden mine pops up that I'm in the country illegally.
Right. So on every driver's license, there's a 2D scan strip.
Okay, that's the back of it.
Okay, so on the back of it, you see it here? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a tab. I'm going to scan it. Oh, this is already in use, but I would scan it.
Okay.
And then I would scan a wristband, and it would allow me then to be open for 32 ounces of beer and wine.
Is that enough for you?
Well, for me, I mean, believe it or not, the average person pours 4.7 ounces per pour.
Okay.
He visits the beer wall 5.5 times. He pours 28 ounces per visit and will spend $14.15 per visit on alcohol.
Okay, now what would that compare to normally?
Normally, I mean, when you go into a typical location, I mean, how many beers do you normally
They're
drink?
going to typically, like at a rapid fire, they would get a bottle of beer, if that.
Yeah. So a lot of our fast casual customers, we're learning that they're 1.5%, 3% alcohol to food.
Okay.
I mean, we have fast casual and other casual dining locations that are serving anywhere between 15 and upwards of 40% alcohol to food.
Okay.
Our tap rooms, when you start going into the tap room element and focusing primarily on the beer and wine, and then bringing a food element as a secondary, we're seeing a split of 72% alcohol, 28% food.
Wow.
So alcohol is typically, 80% gross margin.
Yeah, that's right to the bottom line.
Your cost of goods is 18, 19, 20%. And the great part about it is you sell every single ounce of beer out of the keg. So there's no waste.
Okay.
The yield is strong. That all goes to the bottom line.
So they take this bracelet.
So they take the bracelet. Oh, and this one is going to work for me here. Just make sure.
Yeah, and I've seen this with rapid fire while you're doing that. One thing I've noticed, I've heard from those guys, is that people are coming back because they know the beer wall is being changed. And it's not Bud Light, Miller Lite, and Coors Light. Then it's 5, 6. I think they have 18 at that one, I believe.
Yeah, they do.
And you've got like one with 60, don't you?
We have our largest location was 83. But
83
here's what's really cool about what Rapid Fired Pizza is doing. After 90 days and all of the data that they collected, we did a heat map for them, where they did a heat map. And they recognized that they were bringing people from 25 miles outside of the radius of their location. And in a fast casual, especially in a franchise type of application, anything outside of 5 miles from that location is it's big for them. So that's upside opportunity that they have based on the technology.
So they're taking other people's business because of that.
Absolutely.
Which is kind of what's happened with the craft beer revolution, because it used to be that you had to go to a local brewery to get a craft beer. Now you can go to a place like Rapid Fire.
And they like to go to places like that because, listen, the breweries that I like to go to, certain I like, maybe only one or two, but when I can go into a location that has many, I can go down the line, taste different ones, and I know that I'm not just stuck with 6 different products I have, that I need to be drinking from. So that's a really cool thing, and they can bring it from all kinds of different.
So now we're at the beer wall.
Okay, so I'm going to go to. Listen, I grew up in Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
And I remember when Deschutes Brewery just started, right? So we have a Black Butte Porter, and again, we're pouring water here, but it gives you the idea of how this works. You can see here that the products on here, ABV, IBU. If I click on this, it will also give me the tasting notes of this product as well, which is very interesting. I then take my wristband, I will put it on the RFID reader, it will turn green, I will then pour.
So normally this would be beer, but we're water because we're the show. Because
Right.
you guys would have a big line if you were giving beer out.
Yeah, well, yeah,
You'd never get any business done.
So you can see here that I just poured 5.5 ounces. I poured from my tab 6.7 ounces total. This will shut down for me at 32 ounces. And when I hit my 32 ounce limit, the person who's working the beer wall for the operator would come up to me and say, I see that you've hit your 32 ounces, make sure that I'm not overserved, and then open me up from any one of these taps for additional ounces. Or I can go back to the management workstation, check in, say, hey, I need additional ounces.
Yep.
Make sure that I'm not overserved and can open me up for more. So there's this objective, I like to call it an objective hurdle, that gives the operator a better, more control over what his patrons are consuming, and ensure that his workers are not allowing people to overconsume.
So what I'm hearing here from a beer standpoint is that, get the camera going here, it's got a mind of its own sometimes. What I'm hearing here is that we've got a concept. Hold on. This is weird.
It must be wanting to follow one of our
It wants to follow the beer, I think.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is that, let's just look at Rapid Fire. They went from having a cooler with a couple miles of beer in it, which I know their brand, and they weren't selling a lot of them, to now people can look at this and go, holy crap, this is a craft beer restaurant almost. They know it's going to change. So if I like craft beer, I might come back next week. What's on tap? Or I go to Untapped, because this does tie in with Untapped, correct?
That's right.
So I can go on the Untapped app and see what beer is on tap. I get people from outside the market that might not normally come to me, because let's face it, I could go to probably 10 different pizza places from 25 miles away to here. But I can only go to one that's got a bunch of self-serve beer taps. And then the final thing for me that really solved the problem was last night. I'm not waiting for 20 minutes. The server is able to maybe take care of the food, make sure that experience is better, make sure the restaurant's cleaner. It seems like a pretty win-win situation.
Yeah, it is. And the other good thing about it is, especially in some of these busier locations, people can be deployed in different parts of the restaurant. So, you're not just a server. You could be running food at one point. You could be checking people in and out at another point. You could be working the beer wall when it's getting crowded up there. So we like to think about redeploying, and using that resource to its best ability during this process. We've collected a lot of data, so we know where people are utilized in the space during a day, depending on the type of where thgoing to located. For example, if you're near an event and venue location, at 6 o'clock the concert's going to start, you're going to have extra people checking people out.
Okay.
So, you start creating this operational process within your business, and you're not just a server. You can actually be, checking people in and checking people out, working with people at the beer wall.
Gotcha.
So it's really cool. I mean, there's a lot of good wins with this technology, and I think the folks who are using it and understanding how it can be used and using the data to deploy it properly and operating it properly are the guys who are making all the money. It's pretty amazing.
So for people that aren't fortunate enough to be here at the Pizza Expo, which have you gotten around and got any samples yet?
A little bit, yeah.
Pizza.
I mean, I don't think you can even go anywhere in this place without running into a sample.
Pizza and desserts everywhere. So people, if they aren't here, how can they reach out to iPourIt? How can they find out more information?
Okay, so the best thing probably to do is to go to IPourIt.com, and there's a lot of information. We like to create a consultative process in our sales approach because not every location is the same.
Yeah.
The technology can be utilized in many different concepts: tap rooms, hospitality, urban living, fast casual, casual dining, you name it. The key thing is understanding and applying this technology in the operations properly to what they're trying to accomplish, what they're trying to do. So a lot of the work that we do is up front. We're on the phone. We have a tech guide that helps people understand how our technology is deployed. We work with their architects and engineers to ensure that they design, these beer walls properly, that the backsplash and the drip trays are properly designed. Because this is really the key part of this. It's not just the iPourIt technology, but it's the beer dispense technology behind it. If this doesn't work, then the whole experience is not going to be good. So we like to take people through that process.
Okay.
So IPourIt.com is probably the best place to come in and maybe sign up, and we'll have someone give them a call.
Cool.
I may even call them myself.
There you go. You might even get a chance to get on this call with this guy.
Hey, can I check you out? Show you how this works real
Yeah,
quick?
let's do it.
Okay. So now we've taken a couple of drinks. You can see here that
I'm going to
go
put the
ahead
camera out
and-
here.
yep.
Go the angle here, camera.
So I'm going to look at my open tabs. Actually, I was using Emily's wristband, so I'm cheating. If Emily were to have left without paying, at the end of the night, all I have to do is open her tab up. I can print her receipt, and she was associated with ticket number 3 in my Aloha point of sale. Click on that. I add $4.47 to her tab, and then go ahead and close it. If she's still here, I can also, very simply, scan my wristband. It brings up her receipt. I ask her if she wants it closed. Yes. I go ahead and scan the manager's wristband. And then it would print it up, and I would then put that onto her tab. So it's simple and easy. And the check-in and check-out process, I think, is really important to operational efficiency, especially in fast casual applications.
Well, there it is. You need to get in this day and age. Don't get left behind because craft beer is everywhere. Your restaurant needs more. Your restaurant needs technology. And here's a great opportunity. Thanks for being on the video with me.
Thank you very much, Matt.
See y'all.